Season 7 of Game of Thrones fucking sucked, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be prudent to start with just telling everyone our experience with the show and the books and stuff. So I've seen every season now, and I've read all the books, and...
Whereas I've only seen all of the show, and then I've read a little bit of the first book.
Yeah, you read over half of A Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So
and then I got distracted with other things.
Yeah, and plus I scream at you about Game of Thrones all the time. So I'm just gonna start by saying that there's nothing wrong with liking the show. And
no.
I don't want people to think that I'm bitching about them liking the show. It's just me as a fan of the show and of the books. Yeah. I think that it's gone fucking downhill.
Oh no, it definitely has. Season 1 through to about 3 was really good, and then it just started to decline because they got a bit greedy.
Yeah, man, season 1 was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I also want to start off by, I don't want to just go straight into shitting on it. I want to talk about the good things that I like from season 7 first.
Yeah.
So the first thing is Davos, my old mate.
Yeah, I absolutely love him. I wish he was my grandpa.
Yeah, I wish he was my fucking dad. But yeah, no, Davos is great. And then Cersei's also really good.
Yeah, I just think Cersei was probably one of my favourite characters in season 7, just because with the 6 seasons leading up to it, they were doing phenomenal character development for her, and if you watch season 7, you understand Cersei's actions, whereas you don't really understand everybody else's because they haven't put in the backbone behind the character in the first place.
It's plus Cersei is the only one who really acts like her character.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one that they've set, the character that the show has set up.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a problem with them. I have here as well, I like Euron Greyjoy. And Euron in the show is way different from Euron in the books. So that it's not my problem that they're different. It's just that sometimes they do different things and it's just worse. Whereas if they do different things and it's good, then it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Euron. And I also really liked Theon and Jon meeting and Theon having to apologize and stuff. That was cool. Although I am a little confused as to what Jon actually knew about what Theon did.
So I think based on his reactions, I think he knew that Theon took Winterfell, pretended to burn Bran and Rickon's bodies. So basically he was very bitter about the betrayal, but from the little bits that I've read of the first Game of Thrones book, Jon Snow isn't as housebound. He's not ready to get angry about that sort of stuff.
No, he definitely, in Clash of Kings, he definitely gets a little more, because Robb is, Robb becomes King of the North, and he starts doing his questing and stuff, and Jon, and I think they show it in the show too, Jon, he goes, oh, fuck this, I'm gonna go and help Robb. And then so he leaves, but in the show, I think it's Sam, Pip, and Gren come and stop him.
Yeah,
and then they drag him back.
But was that being honor bound to the house, or was that being honor bound to family? Because I feel like it would have just come from the family orientation of honor, because Jon's being very family orientated, and
true. He wouldn't have deserted the Night Watch for Catelyn.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that actually.
Yeah,
that's good shit. But yeah, I forgot that Theon this is fucking stupid. I forgot Theon took Winterfell.
Yeah.
It's just been so long in the show since anyone's mentioned it. But yeah, no, that is true. That Theon took Winterfell, and because I was like, why is Jon angry? He's met Bran and he saw Rickon die.
Shouldn't he be glad and thankful because he saved Sansa?
Yeah.
From literal torture every day.
Yeah. He did. Theon did just stand there and watch while Sansa got fucking raped as well.
But he was also traumatized as hell himself.
That is
he
true.
was put through the ringer, that boy.
He was fucking reeked out, dude.
Yep.
The other thing that I really like is fucking I already mentioned it, but Euron Greyjoy, and just any battle scene involving the Greyjoys is top notch, and it's always been top notch. And the guy who plays Euron,
he does a phenomenal job.
I
love his maniacal laugh.
He's fucking crazy.
It just gets me.
When he's coming down on the thing onto the ship and he's just screaming, it's great. And then one of the other things I really liked was when this is one of the only things I like when they go north of the Wall. was when Jon tried to give Jorah Longclaw, and Jorah was like, "Nah, mate, I fucked my family's honor.
Yeah.
So you keep it. Plus, my dad gave it to you, dude."
I thought that was like a really good redeeming factor for his character, just because I hate him.
Yeah, Jorah sucks.
Yeah, and just like even when you watch him in any like fight scene, he just looks stiff.
Yeah, he just sucks.
Like, just get a stunt double to come in and actually like bang it out properly, and then just put his face on it. Like, we have the technology to do that. Cersei had a body double when she was doing the Walk of Shame.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But it's even like in the earlier seasons when Jorah was like, I remember a scene where Jorah fights some Dothraki like right after Drogo dies. But even then, he looked good. Like, it looked good. I don't know if like the direction has gone downhill.
I think the reason that it probably looked good was because you were seeing a traditional knight fight
a Westerosi knight
against a Dothraki,
and the fanboy in me was like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. And like just having the two comparisons of the fighting styles and not really seeing him fight with people that have a similar fighting style, it kind of, it made him look good, whereas now you have him fighting next to Jon Snow and all the other Davos and all those people, all that jazz. He just doesn't pull through.
You're right. You put Jorah next to like Tormund and the Hound, and he doesn't look anywhere near as
he
impressive.
Definitely doesn't, especially when they have like flaming swords. Like,
and Beric as well.
You can't outshine a flaming sword.
No, dude. And then I also really like Tormund's little crush on Brienne.
I absolutely love that.
I think that's an adorable little touch, and I think it's something that if Tormund met Brienne, he would be enamored by her, and he'd be like, oh fuck, this lady, you know what I mean? I also really liked this scene where Qyburn, Cersei's maester, she takes him down to the basement or whatever, and
with like all the dragon skulls?
Yeah, with the dragon skulls and the scorpion bolt through Valerion's skull. Yeah. That was cool as fuck. I like Olenna Tyrell as well, the Queen of Thorns.
Oh, was that old mate?
Yeah, the old one. She's fucking rad. She's fucking rad, and just any scene with her in it, it's like I'm willing to forgive differences because
she just pulls it off.
Yeah, the on-screen performance is just so good.
I love it when she calls Joffrey a cunt.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
That's the best line of the season.
He was always a cunt, wasn't he?
I also really like Bran being crazily acid fucked as well.
Oh, man.
I think it's really cool. Plus, I think that's like accurate to what would happen to someone like Bran if he got all that knowledge as well.
Especially if he's like lost his legs and he has no real cling to the mundane world anymore because, he's been separated from his family for so long and, he's felt like that, like, he obviously knew that they weren't dead once he became the Three-Eyed Raven. But, beforehand he was probably like, am I the only Stark left? Are Rickon and I the only ones left? Yeah,
and I also really liked that scene where Mira Reed comes in and she's talking to Bran.
That kind of broke my heart.
Yeah, and he's just so different.
Yeah, because like you could tell that she had like strong feelings. It doesn't have to be a romantic feeling.
Yeah,
it
not
could
lovey.
Literally be just platonic, being like, my brother died to get you here, and you can't even say thank you.
Yeah,
like
plus,
that's not you.
Plus, Bran always had a crush on Mira, like the whole time, and it was just really sad to see
it change.
Yeah, just to see like he just doesn't care anymore, sort of thing. Yeah. Well, it's not that he doesn't care; it's that he's got bigger things to worry about than.
I do feel like he is taking the Three-Eyed Raven role a little too seriously, though, because to understand, like, I don't know. In my opinion, I would probably try and keep, mortal world ties, so I don't get sucked in as hard as he did, whereas he's just been like, throw all caution to the wind, this is my life now, I prefer this than the normal world, but you need balance with that sort of power. He's just too drunk on it.
Yeah, he's just like not even Bran anymore, he's just the Three-Eyed Raven now, which is cool but also bad. And then one of the other things that I really like is that just the budget, the fact that a show like this can get as much money and bring in as many viewers as it does.
Yeah.
And when there's a scene where it's just budget, like there's no actors really talking or anything.
Okay, let's be real. This whole season was literally just budget.
Yeah, just budget and then filler talking scenes.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, like you know, when the Night King's marching on the wall and he's flying on Viserion and he's like blowing down the wall, it's fucking amazing and it's breathtaking to look at.
I did like that, but I was livid when they got a dragon because, you know, you've told me in the past that they basically have all of the giants except like one.
Yeah, they got a lot of giants.
Yeah, and they also have, you know, the white polar bear thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So they basically have anything and everything that dies beyond the wall in their army.
They get that as a white.
Why do they need a dragon as well? Like they're so much more advantaged than the rest because only certain things can kill them, whereas with mortals, so you know, Jon and his posse, anything can kill them.
Yeah.
So it just kind of like, you know, it's an overwhelming force now, and it's not, you know, I can't see them defeating them, and if they do, I'm probably gonna rage quit and
call bullshit.
Yeah, exactly, because like, how do they overcome that? Unless, you know, Daenerys gets pregnant with Jon Snow's baby, and then, you know, her dragons have eggs.
Yeah.
But then we've also seen the dragons aren't even full size yet.
No.
And it's now 7 seasons in.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do a time lapse if they're going to be like, oh, look, we have more dragons now.
Yeah, fully grown. Yeah, exactly. The dragons won't have enough time. Yeah. Even if there's more dragons born, they won't have enough time to grow.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry, I did get off a bit.
No, that's okay. It's great. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, another fucking... Oh, I'm not meant to be bitching yet. I'm meant to be saying good things.
Yes.
Although I don't really like the design of the White Walkers, because, you know, George, he describes them as very, like, beautiful and elegant and stuff like that, and they just look like old people. I think that the Night King does look like a White Walker. You know what I mean? Like, his
like
design...
True.
Yeah, his design is very sort of, like, elegant and dangerous and very cool looking. He looks a lot like fucking Darth Maul, though. And I sort of can't get over that. But, no, it's fine. I also really like Zombie Gregor, fucking the Mountain, coming back to life.
Yeah, I actually really dig that character, and I really like, because, you know, again, it's sticking to the major character development Cersei had to bring him back and keep him by her side, because he was a lethal weapon alive, and now he's, you know, alive but dead. Yeah. So... how are you gonna kill him? How does the mountain fall this time? Yeah,
and he's way stronger too. Like I don't know if they really talk about it too much, but he is he was already insanely strong when he was alive, but now he's fucking crazy strong. And
also his armor is dead.
Yeah, I was about to say I really like that Cersei takes the you know, the White King's Guard and turns them all black and has like her Black Queen's Guard. That's really cool. I always thought that was cool. Yeah. I also really like that the Sand Snakes are fucking dead now. Because I hate them.
I was kind of like, you know, I was a bit bummed out because I was interested to see how they would work them into the war scenario. But, you know, looking back now, it's like, they were never really gonna get there. Yeah. Like, they pissed off too many people to actually get there.
Yeah, although there's one cool scene with the Sand Snakes, and I think this was in season 6, is when Illyria's talking to Olenna Tyrell, and all the Sand Snakes are like just sort of bitching at her, and Olenna's just sort of snapping back, and then she turns to Lady Nim, and she's like, do you have anything to say? And Lady Nim opens her mouth to say something, and then Olenna's like, oh, I didn't think so, and then stops her right there. It's like, that's funny, that's good shit. And then, oh, fuck it, that's all the good stuff I got.
See, I feel really bad because you were like, oh, let's talk about the good things first, and I've basically gone in and...
No, that's okay. Because I'm about to go
already.
in.
Yeah, okay, cool. We'll both go in.
Alright. So, first of all, this isn't strictly season 7, and this kind of goes on from the last point that we had about the Sand Snakes. I fucking hate Ellaria Sand and Dawn, just in general.
See, I liked, what was his name? The one that's in the wheelchair?
Doran.
Yeah. I liked how they did Doran. I just wish that, you know, instead of just killing everybody off, they had kept him.
Yeah.
I don't know. woo him with your womanly ways, and then,
yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, that probably wouldn't work on Doran, because Doran doesn't really give a fuck about women. But, no, it's just, like, really upsetting, because the Dawn storylines are honestly one of my favourite parts from the books, and you know that, like, the Greyjoys are my first love, but other than that, I love the Martells. And so it's just fucking stupid that Ilaria, in order to get vengeance for the Martells, she kills all the Martells. That doesn't make sense.
It just, because it's not getting vengeance for all the Martells. It's literally just getting vengeance for her heartbreak over losing Oberyn.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, and then this is one of the things where, like, you know, Euron is a good change, whereas Ilaria is a bad change from her book counterpart, because it's like, her character in the books is very against the idea of vengeance. At one point, she basically grabs up her youngest kids. She can't take the Sand Snakes because they don't want to go with her. And she just pisses off. She's like, I'm done. I'm out of the war. I'm out of the story.
Oh, wow.
And she just disappears.
See, that's really cool because, you know, Oberon was so hooked on getting vengeance and, you know, getting a confession,
that got him killed.
Yeah, he basically just killed himself by, you know, doing that. And I think it's really good to have that contrast because in the show, they have her and him feeding each other's greed and need for, you know, justice. And it's like, I like that better. I like her not arcing up, I guess.
I also, I don't understand why Ilaria had to kill Marcella. Like, I sort of get it from, like, a revenge on Lannister's point of view, but it's like, when they're talking to Cersei and Jaime, Oberyn and Ilaria, they like, hint that they know that they're incestual and that their kids are all incest-born, basically. And they're like, oh, you know, we're not judging, though. Fucking anything flies in Dawn. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And so it's like, they can't want her dead because she's an abomination. And it's like, there's just no political reason to kill.
So at that point when Marcella dies, Oberyn's already died. So I think maybe it's, you know, the hatred for the Lannisters has grown so deep because Oberyn died.
Yeah.
Defending Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah.
And so what's her name? Ilaria?
Ilaria.
Yeah, sorry. I'm really bad with names. So Ilaria killing Marcella would kind of fit in with the narrative that they set up in the show where they're so hooked on, you know, Martell's getting justice for the wrongdoings that has happened to them, but, you know, if she had foreseen what's happening to her now in season 7, I don't think she would have done it.
Yeah, although I did really like that scene fucking, like, forcing Ilaria to watch Lady Nym be killed in the same way she killed Marcella. That's good. And
also just, like, they're not able to touch each other. The chains are, like, just short enough so they can't actually touch.
Yeah, no.
It's a pretty good touch.
That was all really good. I have written here just the writing, but that's kind of everything. So we'll talk more about that later. I hate Jon and Daenerys' relationship.
Yeah, see, the fangirl in me, when we first started watching the season, I was like, yep, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see my OTP together. Yeah. And then they got together, and there's no chemistry.
No,
like,
there's nothing.
They're stiff. It's, I don't like it.
And then there's that weird thing where, like, they go to bang, and then Tyrion's waiting outside, and he's, like, looking all sad, and it's like, was he crushing on Dany? Because I didn't get that.
Yeah, it definitely didn't come through that Tyrion was crushing on her.
Yeah. And this brings up my next point, which is just that Tyrion, he does shit all now.
Yeah, he literally, he's just there to be, like, wise.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you watch the earlier seasons, he's there to be funny, wise, and, you know, he does shit. Yeah, he plans shit. Yeah, like, he did the whole Blackwater Bay.
I was about to say he single-handedly almost fucking destroys Stannis' fleet.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's just a little monkey, basically.
Yeah.
With symbols.
Yeah, exactly.
Dany around.
Just doing funny shit.
Yeah. It's not even that funny.
No, exactly. Season, he didn't have any funny lines either.
Sorry.
No, it's alright. And then the next thing that I've got is anything north of the wall. I hate everything. about the scenes where they go north of the wall. Like, I'm racking my brain because I'm like, I don't want to be too mean. I'm trying to think of a good thing that I like. Oh, well, the Jon and Jorah thing that happened north of the wall.
Yeah, that was just a very small attempt at character development that wasn't really to serve any purpose in the story. See, back in the earlier seasons when Crastus Keep was still in the show, North of the Wall was interesting because you got a glimpse into what life was like, so detached from the Seven Kingdoms, and you know, it was cold, it was harsh, and incestuous as fuck. And now it's just this land where there's nobody, because, you know, I don't feel like they would have been able to get all of the wildlings north of the wall, south of the wall.
No.
But they've made it out that they have.
Yeah, well, I mean, because a lot of them died at Hardhome, if you remember.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Like, that must have been, like, 10,000 wildlings killed right there. Yeah. Like, it was fucking intense. But yeah, it was just, like, the one thing about the north of the wall shit that annoys me so much, was fucking, just everything to do with that goddamn frozen lake.
Yeah.
That was dumb as fuck. Like, because it goes against how the White Walkers work.
Yeah.
It's like, even whites bring cold with them, so even if the ice breaks, it's like, the White Walkers being there, even the whites being there, should be able to freeze the lake again and be able to walk across it.
And also, if you look at, like, a still from that scene, the ice that was broken from, you know, the White Walker crash tackling, it's literally just a ring.
Yeah.
It doesn't come all the way to the rock that they're, you know, seeking refuge on. It didn't go behind them. Yeah. But when ice breaks, typically a lot of it falls away, especially with the amount of pressure that's on it. Like, they're all just standing around the lake, like thousands of White Walkers.
Plus, it's like, there were enough White Walkers where they could all just, even with the ice breaking, they could all just run onto the ice, break all the ice, they'd all fall down. The rest of the White Walkers eventually would just fill up.
Yeah.
Just fill up the lake, and then other whites would be able to walk across them.
And they wouldn't be dead.
No, exactly.
Because they're already dead.
Yeah, they're fine. And then fucking the stupidest thing with that was Tormund's, oh, is he gonna die scene? Because I was like, he's not gonna die.
Well, see, at first, because we hadn't seen any deaths in season 7, which is really weird. Yeah. You know, it had me on the edge of my seat because, you know, I absolutely love Tormund and I didn't want him to die in that way. And then he didn't die, and I was like, oh. But I kind of also had like a little bit of a disappointment. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like that's plot like armor. Yeah, exactly, plot armor. We'll get into the plot armor later. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, no, it's just like there were even scenes where, like, during when Tormund's going down, where it would be showing Tormund and he's like on the ground fighting off White Walkers, and then they're not ripping into him. But then it'd go to, like, Jorah, and Jorah's looking at Tormund and doing nothing. Yeah. And then they flash back to Tormund, and there's less whites on him, and, like, then there's just shitloads. And then 2 seconds later, a fucking no-name-ass character gets knocked off the cliff and falls into a crowd of White Walkers, and then immediately gets ripped apart. Yeah. And I'm like, well, that should have happened to Tormund then. Exactly. It's like they don't care about their logic in their show anymore. It's fucking ridiculous. Unless... This would be absolutely shit if this was what they were doing. Unless the White Walkers that were attacking Tormund were ex-friends of his. I don't think that they would have done that. But yeah. Well, because they weren't as vicious as every other White Walker.
That's true, but there's like little things, like, so for example, there's a scene in the books where they go ranging north of the wall and they manage to bring 2 Night's Watchmen die, and they bring them back to Castle Black. And then they reanimate as whites. And one of them remembers, one of them goes straight for the Lord Commander, Jeor Mormont. And he knows the way to where Jeor's staying. Oh, wow. So it's like, even if they were friends of Tormund and they remembered, that doesn't stop them from wanting to kill them. You know what I mean? It's
no, that does make sense. It's kind of like, like a zombie apocalypse, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the thing. It just felt like The Walking Dead, but not even as cool as The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like, not as ballsy as The Walking Dead, you know what I mean? And then fucking... that leads me into my next thing, which is just that there is no internal consistency with the logic of the White Walkers anymore.
Yeah.
They can like, do anything, but then at the same time, their powers that they're meant to have, they don't have anymore. Like again, with the freezing of the lake, they're meant to bring the cold with them and the dark with them, but, you can't breathe around White Walkers, it's so cold.
You'd basically die of suffocation with that amount surrounding you on a rock then.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
None of those characters would be alive.
Yeah, and they were all fine, and only fucking Thoros dies. And then that's fucking dumb too, because they have swords that they can light on fire.
Yeah,
like, exactly. There's some fucking warmth.
Yeah, just, make a hobo fire with your swords.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be fine, you'll figure it out, dudes. And then the other thing that I've got, and this has to do with fucking them being almost on the lake, and then being like, oh, Gendry, just really quickly run back to Eastwatch.
Yeah.
There is no travel time anymore. People can just be anywhere in the world at any time, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Exactly. Like, when they said that, I was like, oh, maybe they didn't go out that far from the wall. So, that's fair enough. And then, I was like, oh, okay, we'll see how long it takes Dany to get there.
Yeah.
And then Dany was there instantaneously.
Yeah, like the next day.
Yeah, and it's like, she came from Dragonstone on the other side of the map.
Yeah.
Like...
No, it's fucking insane. It's... Oh.
And then also, hang on. So, remember the High Garden, episode?
Yes.
So, Dany got there when they were on their way back to King's Landing, attacked them, and then the very next episode starts with Jaime and that being in King's Landing already. So, had a couple of days passed, or were they literally back instantly?
Yeah, and all they had to do to clear that up is have Jaime just say to Cersei, oh, bloody hell, it took us, 3 days to get back here.
We rode hard.
Yeah, some shit like that. It's it's not hard, because they've done it in the past, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
The first, and I think this is why...
First season, when Robert Baratheon goes to Winterfell, he talks about how long and arduous the journey was.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get to see them travelling back to King's Landing. Yeah. They're not just suddenly there and then everything happens there.
Exactly. That's what good show writing is. Not this, let's throw it all out the window and be action for action.
Yeah.
You have to have build up.
Yeah, I was also going to talk about how fucking stupid it is that when they kill the White Walker, all the other whites disappear except one.
It reminds me of the vampire lore. So in vampire lore, if you kill the person that sired the other vampires, then every vampire dies.
Yeah.
So, it's vampires meets zombies.
Yeah.
With ice. It just doesn't make any sense
but
anymore.
But that's also not how White Walkers work again.
Yeah.
Because anything that dies north of the wall comes back as a white. Wildlings have to burn their dead so that they don't come back.
But now it's made out in the show that it's not just something that happens, they're sired.
Yeah, it's like they have to be turned by a White Walker, and it's the only time that the White Walkers even turn anyone is when they take Craster's baby and the Night King touches him and turns him into a White Walker. Not a White Walker.
Because he was still alive when he turned him. So that's the difference there. But, the dragon was dead.
Yeah, it should have come back, right? It didn't need, because they drag him out with these huge chains, which...
Where did they get them from?
Where the fuck did those chains come from?
It would make sense if they made them look like they were made of ice.
Yeah, because, just do a little scene of the Night King being doing some magic shit. Just making some ice shit. But yeah, they didn't. They looked metal to me. And then they drag him out, and it's they didn't even need to do that if they just had Viserion crash on land.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But then that wouldn't be
They wouldn't have the cool scene of the dragon falling into the water.
And then you wouldn't also have the cool scene of what are those White Walkers doing with chains near the lake? Oh, I wonder what's happening.
I knew what was happening.
Yeah, no. I knew as soon as the dragon died, I was like, you fuckers.
Yeah, it's all done now.
This is not okay.
It's all done now. And then I don't want to go on too long about missing characters, but they're starting to really wear on me. the fact that in particular that there's no Lady Stoneheart and that there's no Victarion Greyjoy, because both of those characters are very important in the books, and they also just like they set up other things, you know what I mean, like like Victarion, like Lady Stoneheart, for example. She shows that even when you're super dead, you can still come back. But when you come back, you are completely changed. You are not the same person anymore. And then, so that's like setting up shit that's going to happen with Jon, because Jon dies too. And then, but Jon's also a skin changer, and Catelyn wasn't. So there is that. But yeah, and Victarion has to be one of my favorite characters in the books, and maybe this is just fanboyism of me being like, oh, where's Victarion? But Victarion's fucking cool. He's literally like the coolest. Like the way that Euron acts, is like he's like a mixture of Euron from the books and Victarion. And I still like Euron. Yeah. But I'm just like, well, they should have just put in Victarion, because Victarion's cool.
But then they wouldn't have had as much money left for the budget, because they would have had to have paid another actor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's the other thing too. This is way down the list, but I'm gonna start it now. Fucking D&D, the guys who made the show. What's it? D.B. Weiss and David Dobbs.
See, when I first read that note that you wrote, I was like, why are we talking about Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just like there's a whole lot of times when it feels like they actively disrespect their own fans and the source material. Like I haven't actually told you this story yet, but you know how Barristan dies in like season 4 or something. Barristan Selmy, he's like the old Kingsguard that Joffrey.
I loved him.
Yeah, and then he goes to Daenerys. So Barristan, the guy who plays him, I forget his name, but the guy who plays Barristan, he loves the books, and he's read all of them, and he in particular loves Barristan, and he loved playing Barristan. And then when they were finding out that, when he found out that D&D wanted to kill off Barristan, he went to them and he was like, hey, look, there's some really important shit that Barristan's gonna have to do coming up, like, you shouldn't kill him now, because he doesn't die like that in the books, he's still alive in the books.
Yeah.
So can we not kill Barristan? We should keep him around and have him here. And then D&D in an interview, they were talking, and then they were just telling that story, and they were like, and that just made us want to kill him more. And it's like, you smarmy pricks, like you're a fucking bunch of cunts, aren't you?
That's awful.
Yeah, dude, it's bullshit. But it's like, I can't help but feel even I love in season 6 how Cersei blows up the Sept. I love that scene. I think it's fucking great. It's like right on point. It's what Cersei would do if she had all of her enemies in one place. She'd blow it the fuck up. It's great. But I can't help but feel the reason that all of those characters had to die then was because they didn't want to have to pay those actors anymore. Especially the High Sparrow, because he's a pretty famous actor. And yeah, I think and even like Natalie Dormer, you know, Marjorie Tyrell, like
she would have been gaining popularity since she started on the show.
She's fucking flying right now,
yeah,
dude.
Exactly. Like they would have had to have started paying her more. But the thing is, like, Cersei before the show, she was an actress and she was doing, you know, blockbuster movies and that sort of stuff. How much are they spending on her? Like, and you know, Daenerys and Jon Snow, like, so Kit Harington, I don't remember her name.
Emilia Clarke.
You know, they'd have to be getting pretty decent paychecks now because they're like the most popular characters and the most loved and, you know, the main characters now. Yeah,
and I mean, that's another good thing about the show too, is that they did hire relatively no-name actors and stuff, like, for the start of it, and I'm excited to see what these kids do next. Like, just yesterday, I was just looking through music and I came across a band, and they had Maisie Williams, Arya Stark, in their music video.
Oh, really?
And I saw that and I was like, awesome. Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. And then, I mean, she was in Doctor Who, and she kind of sucked in Doctor Who as well. But, yeah, it's, yeah, so it just feels like sometimes, D&D, it just feels like they don't understand, like, I don't know, they definitely, it's not that they don't understand the source material. It's just that
they don't want to pay attention to it anymore.
They don't care. It's like the power has gone to their head. They're mad on they're drunk on their power.
We've done an original HBO series and
and it's the biggest HBO series ever.
Yeah, the Battle of the Bastards. I'm not sure about season 7, but that was the most expensive episode, and before that
it was the Battle on the Wall.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what season 7's budget was, or if they decided to, instead of having one epic episode, make the whole season epic. But it wasn't. It was lackluster.
And that's just another thing that I've got written here is that the whole thing just kind of feels like fan fiction / fan service, which I guess technically it is fan fiction at this point, but that doesn't mean that it has to be bad, and it doesn't have to feel like it's a 16-year-old boy writing this shit, you know what I mean?
What they could have done and what would have been better is, instead of because my theory is they were literally reading fans' comments on videos and trailers being like, I can't wait for Daenerys and Jon Snow to have a baby together. I can't wait for them to be together. They're my OTP, kind of thing. And they've just used that to write the next season.
It does almost feel like they fucking...
that...
They just compile shit from forums and stuff, and they're like, that's a script, done.
So, season 7 basically feels like the only idea they had was Jon and Dany have to get together, and everything else is kind of just...
And the White Walkers get a dragon.
Yeah. And then everything else was just kind of like, who cares what happens, hey?
But, I mean, they got so much money. I fucking want to see the giant spiders.
Yeah,
we haven't
telling me about that.
We haven't seen them in the books yet either, and they're fucking dope, and I want to see them. And they have the money to do it on the show, and they should be doing it. It's dumb that fucking the White Walkers ride around on dead horses. It's like, give them the giant ice spiders. You got enough money.
Well, they could have definitely beaten George to the punch on that if they had actually done it, because we were seeing the White Walkers on their horses from season 4 or 5. They would have instantly...
Maybe even earlier, actually. It might have even been because Craster's son, because the White Walker that takes him is riding a dead horse.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I think that mountain that they go to, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I thought that was the fist of the First Man.
Oh, he said that the hound said it looked like an arrow.
Looked like an arrowhead.
Yeah.
But I always just thought the only really big mountain that I can think about north of the Wall is Fist of the First Man. But maybe that's not it. I don't know. Maybe
they've just made up the geographical shit for this season, because Highgarden must be very close to King's Landing, and King's Landing was on an island, but then also had a field that the Unsullied were standing in.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid.
Please explain.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyway, it was dumb as fuck. And then I want to talk about Arya, because because fucking I love Arya. Arya is one of my favorite characters. Not anymore. Not fucking anymore. She's so she's fucking dumb. You know what I mean? She's so, I don't know. She just seems to be so, up herself and oh, I'm the best. I hate that she keeps walking around with her fucking hands behind her back, trying to look like Syrio Florel, and it's you ain't a Braavosi swordsman, dude.
She didn't even really, I don't know if they had graduations there, but she didn't finish her training.
No, she got stabbed in the gut 40 times, by the way.
And then they made her blind because she was being such an arrogant bitch about the whole training process. Yeah. And then she just leaves and she's like, yep, I'm no one now.
Yeah, I'm fucking great. Yeah, and every time when Brienne's like, who taught you to fight like that? And she's like, no one. I'm like, oh, you cringy little shit.
I have an inside joke now.
Yeah, it's fuck off. And that's what I mean. That's the fan service shit that I'm talking about. And it's the same thing with so the first time that Gendry's like, oh, I'm more comfortable with Warhammer. I'm like, yeah, cool, fuck yeah, that's a good little thing. And then they talk with Jon, and then he talks with Jon, and it's they bring up the fact, I was sitting there being like, oh my god, it's like Ed and Robert again. And then they bring up the fact, one of them says, this is like Ed and Robert again. And I'm like, fuck.
What's happened to leaving things left unsaid to have more impact?
Yeah, and it's and again, they've proven that that works because the first 3 seasons
is literally exactly that.
Yeah, it's always like you got to pay attention and you got to know what's going on, otherwise you miss shit.
And now it's literally just, in case you didn't get, you know, the subtle hint that we had here, have this thrown in your face.
Yeah, it's like the Warhammer even has a Baratheon sigil on it.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's like. I mean, Gendry's not a Baratheon though. He's a bastard. I don't know what they're doing there. So yeah, I fucking hate Arya. She's so cringy and she's just a huge bitch to Sansa. And like I know that there are gonna be people who are like, oh no, she knew the whole time, you know, that Littlefinger was playing them against each other. She always knew, and it's like, nah, she fucking did it.
Yeah,
you cannot tell me
like,
that.
She was so confident in her sneaking abilities. If you guys decide to watch season 7, after hearing us shit on it, there is literally a montage, where she follows Littlefinger around and hides in the shadows, and watches him. But in each scene, you can see that he knows she's there, with the subtle fact that he's looking in that direction slightly. It's not, you know, a dramatic like, oh, where is she? Yeah. It's, you know, Littlefinger has been playing the game his whole life. He understands that, you know, people will be watching him because he's, you know, slimy.
He's a little cunt,
And he planted the shit for Arya to, you know, get angry about Sansa. If she knew the whole time, she wouldn't have gotten angry at it. She would have just been like to Sansa, hey, look at what, you know, Littlefinger, you know, planted for me to find so we could have a fight.
Isn't this fucking weird? Let's murder Littlefinger.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it's also like, because Arya's like yelling at Sansa and shit, but all the times when they confront each other, Littlefinger isn't there.
Exactly.
So it's like they're not doing it for Littlefinger, so they're doing it because Arya's genuinely angry. Like, there's no reason for them to have this fight. And then also the fucking when Sansa finds the faces in Arya's bag. Oh, that's so bad. They look awful. Like they just
look like costumes.
Yeah, they look like rubber masks. Like they used to look fucking dope on the shelves and stuff in the hall of black and white. But yeah, I don't fucking know what was going on with Arya and Sansa.
Honestly, I think they just were like, oh, there needs to be some, you know, tension
in
Winterfell. It can't be, you know, happy family times up there. And it's like, well, the tension was Littlefinger whispering in Sansa's ear, being like, betray Jon, betray Jon, betray Jon. You didn't need to have Arya and Sansa try and, you know, have a power battle when Arya's never, ever been interested in ruling.
Yeah, and it's like... Oh. And then when she spars with Brienne of Tarth, she draws, like, they draw, like, essentially, they, you know, it comes to a draw. But then Littlefinger can spot her, you know, sneaking around, and it's like, well, is she amazing or is she not? Like, make up your fucking mind. Like, is she really good at this or isn't she? It just all doesn't make sense.
Well, I think because what Arya was interested in the most about the Faceless Men was the killing and the fighting. She wasn't interested in hiding in the shadows and learning more. She just wants to kill.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, her being easily spotted by Littlefinger, but also you've got to remember Littlefinger was like in King's Landing where there's nowhere you can be safe without having people watching you. So he's, you know, hyper vigilant person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that they did it well if that's what they were intending to do, that, you know, she's so interested in the combat side of the Faceless Men and of this lifestyle rather than the sneaky information finding aspect. I don't know.
Sorry, I just remembered something.
I've been going off on tangents.
No, that's alright. I've been doing the same thing. I just remembered something else that I did like, and it's probably the only thing I like about Arya in the whole season was when she meets Nymeria again.
Yeah, that was really good.
For the first time in ages, it was like, that was really sweet and a good moment. And I like that that Nymeria wasn't immediately like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's go, you know, sort of thing.
My mum's come back.
Yeah, it's like she's a wild animal, so she runs away, and it's like, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, like, one thing that I would have liked just to keep Arya's character interesting, because she's no longer interesting, let's face it. If she had have touched Nymeria and skin changed.
Yeah.
So warg, sorry. For people that watch the show, it's warging.
Yeah.
That would have been cool, but they didn't do that, and you know, it's not something that I'm absolutely cut about them not doing.
Yeah.
It's just
if
they want to keep her interesting, do that.
I don't think that Arya can skin change in the show. I don't think she's a skin changer or a warg.
Oh. Well, see, I think that if... I don't know. I think that they're just interested in, you know, oh, Bran's the only one that can do it. What a unique thing.
But it's like, it's not like that in the books. All of the Stark kids can do it.
Yeah, you've told me that numerous times.
Yeah, everyone can do it. It pisses me off so much, though. I liked it at the start, but now I fucking hate Grey Worm and Missandei's relationship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I find him really cringy now.
Oh, you broke my heart.
Well, because Grey Worm's, like... Well, first of all, Missandei's meant to be 9.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
She's meant to be 9. And... Yeah, and it's like, I get that they've aged her up, and, like, that's fine. But I can't... Because I'm a fan of the books, I can't... You know, I see the actors as avatars for the book characters.
Yeah.
So even when they're saying, you know, oh, Rob's 20 or whatever, I'm like, he's 15. You know what I mean? I'm like, nah, he's actually 15. And then seeing Missandei fucking macking on with Grey Worm, and it's like, what? Why? And then he's a eunuch, but then I'm pretty sure they bone.
No, I think he only eats her out.
Oh, he does too. Yeah.
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 See, I'm going to maintain that I love that little relationship just because they've both come from, you know, being slaves.
Yeah.
And not really being able to express their true emotions in that, to now finally, you know, being able to express themselves. And I think it's lovely that they've found solitude in each other. Yeah,
I don't know. They've only got 1 season left, and it's like, I don't think they should be spending their time
doing that sort of stuff.
That. I think, like, shit like that is why we don't have Lady Stoneheart, is because they started setting up stuff like that. Because I've seen in interviews, D&D, they were talking about the only reason that they started the Missandei and Grey Worm relationship is because they thought that the two actors had good chemistry together, and, like, whenever they were on screen, they, like, really liked how they interacted, so they just kept writing more and more scenes for them to do that. And that's just filler, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, it can be good filler, but it's still filler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that they've just kind of been like, and these are the only characters we're gonna have for the rest of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's kind of shit, but it's also kind of good because they're characters that they never really got to develop. In earlier seasons, and now they're developing them, but there is only 1 season left, which is, like, could have done a lot more story-wise.
Yeah, man. I also feel like, a lot of their female characters are getting the shaft these days. You know what I mean? Like, they're either just OP and everyone loves them, or they suck and they don't really get to do
much
anything. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do see that, because Brienne did nothing.
Brienne does shit all.
Yeah, she, like, did the spar with Pod, and then she sparred with Arya, and then she was arguing with Sansa, and then, you know, suddenly she's in King's Landing because Sansa didn't want to go down, and then that's it.
But I also take issue, Brienne would not leave Sansa. Even if Sansa sends her away, I don't think she would leave her.
Yeah,
I also don't think that she would want to go to King's Landing anyway, you know what I mean? I don't think she would want... Because, like, in that scene, she's like... Sansa's reading the thing, and she's like, oh, Cersei wants me back in King's Landing, but I'm going to send you Brienne. And then Brienne's like, oh, no, it's for you. You go.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Are you fucking kidding me, Brienne? You know that Cersei's just going to fucking murder her. Like, are you goddamn insane?
Yeah, no.
And then one of the other things that has just sort of seeped its way in is a lot of the, like, I don't know what else to call it, but Hollywood bullshit, where it's just like, the scene that always sticks out in my head is the one where they take the White to King's Landing, and they open the box, and it's like the whole ride there, it's like either asleep or it's like, and then, and then they get it to King's Landing, and he opens the lid, and then it's all like, oh, is it gonna come out? Is it gonna come out? And yeah, it does. Of course it does. You know what I mean?
Well, see, like, at first I was like, they haven't just made it that when it gets hotter, they just melt, have they?
Oh.
That was my first thought, and then I was like, no, but the Hound was literally fucking with it like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's going on? And then it was just like he kicks it over and it explodes out.
Like,
and it's like,
that's the shit from
sakes.
Yeah, it's like that's the shit from the bad seasons of The Walking Dead that they do.
Yeah, I don't need jump scares in Game of Thrones.
No,
man.
exactly.
Like, it's not what you came here for.
Yeah, and then I also take issue with the fact of like it goes straight for Cersei, and Zombie Greg is standing right behind her. He should have immediately sliced him in half. Like, even though it can't reach Cersei, I know it can't reach it, but just even being that close.
But see, I don't know how Gregor works, honestly, because it looks like he follows her commands and stuff, but I think he has to be, like...
Told? Yeah, maybe.
Because when Jamie goes to leave, he doesn't do anything until she says to do something.
Yeah, but even then she nods to him, and then he doesn't kill Jamie. Like, if I was Zombie Gregor and my master nodded to me after being like, I'll have Zombie Gregor kill you, I would just kill Jamie.
Unless he has more sentience than originally thought.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which then just makes him shit and I don't like him anymore.
Yeah. Although there was one good thing about that scene in King's Landing, and I think I've told you about this, I think we've talked about this before, but they're all there and they're all about to talk and everything, and then Euron gets up and he interrupts everything just to fuck with Theon.
Yeah,
like,
I loved that bit.
That's great. Like, that's cool. Like, that's, you know, the show Euron doing what he does best, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think they were like, oh, the character Euron is new and, you know, fresh in everybody's mind. Let's make him the comic relief for this season.
Yeah.
And then because Tyrion's, you know, been on the screen for 7 seasons now, it's like they've retired him for his quips and stuff, but that's what made Tyrion.
Yeah. I'd also fuck the shit out of Euron Greyjoy.
Yeah, same.
Just saying. And then, this is probably a prudent time to talk about the plot armor and the fact that so many characters should be dead.
Yeah, my main issue is Jaime was either roasted alive or when Bronn,
when
Bronn tackles him into the water, he would have drowned with heavy armor on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a fucking cliffhanger for like, is he dead? It's like, no, Bronn just dived into the water as well, and he's not wearing armor, so Bronn can save him, sort of thing. But it's like
he wouldn't have been able to. Like,
it's dumb.
That armor is heavy,
and it'd all fill up with water too.
Yeah. And then he also has a fucking golden hand. Yeah. Like, it's solid.
And he's got his sword on him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's dumb as fuck. And then Tormund should have died on the lake, but then again on the wall, because fucking he's hanging out, and then he's like trying to run away, but then Viserion comes through and just blasts away all of Eastwatch by the Sea, and it's like, how did Tormund survive that? But I know, like, he's alive. He's got to be alive. Oh, fuck you. And then my other main issue, and this is the last thing I've sort of got here, is that they spent a whole bunch of time, like Jon spent a whole bunch of time going to Dragonstone to get dragon glass and obsidian and stuff, right? To then take it north of the wall, so that he can fight the White Walkers. Did they even take any dragon glass when they went north of the wall? No. I swear they didn't. Like,
yeah, like, that's the thing is, you know, they have him show Dany the caves with, like, the dragon glass and those
cave
weird
paintings.
Drawings that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And then we don't see anything else. Like, we don't see him, you know, get someone to make, so like Gendry. Overwatch. They don't have Gendry make a sword out of it as soon as he gets there. They're like, right, let's go.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, I was like, they were going to set him up in like this sick dragon glass blacksmithing forge, like, you know.
That's why I thought Davos went and got him. I thought that he was going to...
That was actually the purpose of them getting Davos getting him, and then he was like, I want to come with you.
Yeah, okay, no, I'm just going to not build anything and come north of the wall with you. Yeah. All right. So that's basically it. I'm done bitching. But I just want to say that I don't hate the show. In fact, I used to love it. Like, the first few seasons are bloody great, and that's exactly why I'm so disappointed and upset with the current seasons.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I love it. I still even like season 6, just because it still has the feel of, like, you know, life without technology is hard, and, you know, everything takes a lot longer, and then season 7 just kind of threw all of that out the window,
it's like,
and
fuck
they were
it.
like, bam, you know,
everyone's everywhere.
You can travel within an hour to get to King's Landing from Highgarden.
Yeah, you can be north of the wall, and then get a raven down to Dragonstone within a night.
And then Daenerys will be there the next day.
Will be there within 24 hours.
Yeah, whereas, you know, I do like up until season 7.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Arya was still good. Jon was still good because he wasn't anywhere near Dany.
Yeah. Yeah, keep them two away from each other.
This is the one thing though with the shows. I know we're gonna cut it short.
No, that's okay. Keep going.
I never have really liked what they've done with Daenerys.
No.
Mainly because she's the one that everybody should love, and they know that that's how it should be. And so they've, you know, given her all of the cool storylines, given her all that, but, you know, that could just also be what happens in the books. I don't know. But
no.
No?
No. She has some cool shit in the books, but it doesn't get... Like, I don't know. She's not made out to be like such a, like, everyone fucking loves her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Made her out that she's like a goddess to these people that she's saved and stuff, and but yeah, I don't really like what they've done there, and bye.
See ya.